Hi, I'm Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking, and I'm your host for this podcast. This is the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. And we have this podcast happen every week. We have a new one drop on Wednesdays, and we try to give you good information to be a successful owner-operator, especially at Oakley Trucking, but anywhere in the business if we can. Today's episode is real interesting. I got Mr. Cody Curren from Alabama. He is sitting down with me, and he's an owner-operator of ours, a recent comeback owner-operator of ours, and we're going to talk about his journey, a little bit about why he left the first time, the reasons behind it, why he's back now, some of the consequences, some of the regrets, some of the things I learned, some of the things Oakley's learned, and it's just going to be a good, interesting conversation that we're going to have with him here in just a minute. But first, let's do Oakley Update, sponsored by Aero Truck Sales.
Aero Truck Sales has been in business for over 60 years and a longtime partner of Oakley Trucking and the Oakley Podcast. Trey Visor and Keith Wilson do a great job at putting you in the right truck to fit your needs and our needs here at Oakley. They carry all makes and models to choose from with on-site financing through transport funding. So whether you're a seasoned owner-operator or a first-time buyer, be sure to contact Keith Wilson at Aero Truck Sales at 573-216-6047 and tell them you heard it on the Oakley Podcast.
Okay, here's the deal on the update today. I've been back there talking to dispatch, and they've sent out messages, I know, here recently on the ELDs about receipts. So specifically, truck wash, trailer wash receipts. So we're having a major problem, evidently, when our owner operator is going in and charging washes, whether it's a trailer or whatever, and not turning in a receipt. Then we get a bill a month later, and the girls up in accounting, they're trying to match everything up. We don't have a bunch of receipts. So the bottom line is you're fixing to get that. That's going to be held out of your settlement if you don't turn into a receipt. That's basically the bottom line I got from dispatch, because it's turned into such a mess. And what they really said was, look, everything you do with that load, turn it in. Anything you do with that load, scale ticket, bill of lading, wash ticket, everything, turn it in, scan it in, so everybody can get paid like they're supposed to be paid. So pretty simple, ain't it, Cody? Yes, sir. I mean, turn in everything. That's been a problem here lately, evidently. So, all right, let's get fired up here with Cody Curren from Alabama, and we're going to talk to him a little bit. Cody, I appreciate you joining me. I know you just finished up orientation for a second time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exhilarating.
I know it is. But I appreciate you sitting down with me today, because, it's not easy to talk about. It may be for you, but a lot of people, it's not easy to talk about the journey of once they were here at Oakley, they quit, and now they're coming back. Before we get started on that, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself to our listeners.
Well, I'm Cody Curren, live in Alexander City, Alabama, originally from San Antonio, Texas. Got out of high school, went in the military. I was 10 years in the Army, a couple of deployments here and there. Got out the Army in 96. Back when I did get out the military, there wasn't no internet, wasn't no cell phone, so Dad was like, well, come back to Texas, and I'm at Fort Benning, Georgia in Columbus, and I'm like, Dad, I get out the Army Friday, I got to go to work Monday, so got a wife and kids, and I stayed in the area over there, and that's how I continued to be in Alabama. But jumped out and got in a truck in 96, went to truck driving school when I got out the Army, and drove over the road for about 6 months for an outfit over there at Alabama. Woke up one day in Los Angeles, said, what are you doing? You got out the Army to be home. So I come back, and I stayed local for a lot of years. Went to work for the rental corporation.
Got a family?
Yes, sir. Got a wife, got kids, got a hers and mine situation. Mm-hmm. We don't have none together. We're past that. Kids are from 36 to 23 years old, one son, 3 girls. They're all up and out of the house. Now we got one grand youngin'.
Oh, nice.
He'll be a 9. That's my son's boy.
They around you?
They live in Atlanta.
Okay, so not too far.
And that's it. Off time, home time. We cut a lot of grass and have an adult beverage every now and then, swim in the pool.
Got a lot of land or something? You got a
5.5 acres.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a whole lot, but until you got to cut grass, and it's too much.
Yeah.
It works.
Didn't think it was much till you started mowing it.
Exactly.
I got you. So let's just get in and talk about this situation that happened. So you left March of 2022. How long were you here the first time?
Just right at 5 years. If I'd have made June, I'd been my 5-year anniversary.
Right at 5 years, you were here the first time. And you did end dump and
I
pneumatic?
did my first 2 years. I did end dump on Manuel's board, and then I made the switch to tank to pneumatic, and did that from then on, which is what I'm coming back to now. Tanks.
Coming back to pneumatics now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Well, glad to have you back. If I hate to see you go, but it does happen sometimes.
It does, yes,
and
sir.
it's we're all vulnerable to those situations where it just gets loaded up and things change and we move different directions. What? Let's talk about your situation and after being at a place 5 years, and it's a good place. You're a good owner operator. What in the world would drive you to quit at that time?
Outside stressors, just a lot. At the time I quit, there was a lot going on. It had been a long winter. We was in the middle of COVID. We were trying to run Canadian stuff, and it didn't stop. It was a rough winter in 22, what I remember, and we'd been running up north all year. And I got between the north.
Or you had.
The pressure, yes, yeah. Between the north, the pressures, the lack of personnel to go to Canada, as in everybody's got passports, everybody can go, but when the COVID come out, people getting or not getting the shots limited it. It was a constant push.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time up there, outside influences, and middle of all this and things going on, and maybe I was running too hard. My father had a stroke.
Where's he live at?
He lives in San Antonio, Texas. So
Get down there to see
can't do a whole lot from Curtis Bay, Maryland for that. So
you get down there to see him very often?
Not as much as I'd like. I mean, about once a year. Usually try to take a vacation visit, but that happened. And so you add all those things together and just pushing and checking on him and outside, and I just think it was too much. A lot of outside pressure. I just snapped a little bit and needed to step back.
Well, we all get, I think, to that point where everything's piling up on us, It's just one situation after another situation, and we don't see that a lot of times in here. When we're in the office and we're dispatching or we're recruiting, I mean, we don't see a lot of that stuff going on. I mean, it's and everybody has it.
Oh yeah, it's life.
It's what we talked about earlier. It was life happens.
Yep.
And at some point, it just gets too big of a mound that you think that quitting is the option.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't.
At the time, it sounded like a great idea. In hindsight, it was kind of stupid, but at the time, it was the move that I chose.
Right.
Lube Zone has opened a new location in Statesville, North Carolina. It's located north of Statesville on Highway 77, just west of Exit 59. Lube Zone services both single trucks and truck fleets, so whether you're driving through or you have a trucking company nearby, Lube Zone are the experts to turn to. Lube Zone's specialty is full-service oil changes that take approximately 30 to 40 minutes. They also offer tractor-trailer grease, gearbox service, generator service, reefer service, and DOT inspections. They also go the extra mile when it comes to quality control. What does that mean? That means your semi-truck is checked not just once, but twice to ensure all service and parts are good to go. Lube Zone does this so you can rest easy knowing that your truck is in top condition. No other service center knows semi-trucks better than Lube Zone. Check out lubezone.com for all their locations, and when you go in there, tell them you heard it on the Oakley Podcast.
So why'd you come back?
Well, big picture, long and short of it, one man needed a job. Yeah. Purchased a new truck. I was at the company that I went to when I left here, and the work kind of petered off. It just got slow from 5-6 days work to 3 days work if you're lucky. And
did you go back to a local job?
I did, yes, sir.
Okay.
Went back to the company I was at prior to coming here the first time, and doing dry bulk and liquid. And the work just got slack there, and they didn't have enough to keep somebody busy, which is one thing about here. If you want to go to work, you will stay busy over here. And that's what I prefer, and I like to go. I like running. That out and back scenario or local scenario don't work for me in my mind's eye. I look at it as wasting time, I've got a 70-hour clock to work, and we're going to work, 6 hours a day and have something done. No, that don't do it for me. I need to go to work. And so I come back for the work volume, the workload, work consistency, and I like to road ramble. So
Was it, a lot of guys that quit, it's hard for them to make that call to come back. Even if they want to, it's hard to make that call and come back. Was that hard for you to do?
At first, it was a thought. I had to talk myself into it. I had something in the works that never panned out, never come. So I said, well, I know I can go to work here. I knew I was pretty confident I could anyway. I knew I left on good terms, tried to, and I believe it happened. I made the call. I want to say on Thursday or Friday morning, I made the call, and I want to say Monday afternoon or Tuesday after the weekend. Hey, when you want to be here? And I was like, well, here I am. So.
Well, we know when we had a good one,
Got y'all buffalo.
We got him calling back. Let's go. Let's get him back to work. So,
that's right.
Yeah, well, we're glad you did. Because that's not easy for everybody to do. Hey, I left them. I can't call them to come back. What if they don't want me back? What if? But I think it takes some courage and confidence to do it, and you realize that was pretty easy.
Oh yeah, it was. And I'd been in contact with my dispatcher Hunter. I'd been talking to him all along anyway.
Oh, okay.
Even from the beginning, we developed a pretty good relationship, and stay in contact with him and a few of the drivers, talking to this one and that one, and carrying on.
What's some of the things that you missed while you were gone? Things maybe that we did here that the other company didn't do, or just things that you missed?
Things I missed would have been, like I said, work value. I don't mind working. I like to go. Like I said, I like to road ramble. That opportunity was not afforded to me. Like I said, everything was kind of local or out and back. You didn't get the opportunities for the long runs. When I was here previously, I ain't going to say I was dedicated. We don't dedicate nothing, but I was a pretty consistent running out to the Northwest, and I love it out there. The scenery, it's pretty. And one of the furthest runs we did was, to Texas on a consistent basis, and that just didn't stretch it out enough. I did get to go to Madawaska, Maine, somewhere I never even heard of till I was with this company, so I hauled a liquid load all the way to the top of the country, and that was pretty neat going up there.
Oh, yeah?
But that was once.
We were actually trying to think of that yesterday. Me and Corey were talking about, and this is totally off subject, but we were talking about what's some of the longest loads we've ever done at Oakley. And I know we went to Nova Scotia. We went to, what is that other one? Way up in Canada. We went to a few. You might have been here when that was happening.
I remember when them boys went to Nova Scotia and had to take the ferry, but that's the only one I recollect.
And then years ago, we went to Alaska, way up there, but that's been a long time ago. I don't think we've done that recently, but that's a whole nother episode there. But it's fun to talk about because there's some crazy loads we've done. I guess there's consequences that happen when you leave a company. Things happen. You come back. You realize, well, dadgummit, if I'd stayed there. One of the biggest things is the bonus.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. I wasn't aware of it when I left. Obviously, of course, I don't know. Human nature. One, you go to a job, you never plan on leaving. Then, when you do leave a job, you never plan on going back. So you go back. Well, then when you go back, you're exposed to, like you said, the consequences. The bonus is a big one that I wasn't aware of. For those of you that don't know, when you come to Oakley, you get a mileage-based bonus. That's 10 cents a mile for your loaded miles that you run for the year. And it goes up a penny a year incrementally from there. So if you come and do some time, you can make some pretty good anniversary bonus money. When I started initially, the bonus was at 5 cents a mile. And then I want to say in my third year, or right at the beginning of COVID time frame is when they did it, they increased that bonus to 10 cents a mile for everybody coming in. They doubled it. And then the people that were, like I said, I was at the 8 cent a mile mark. Well, when they bumped at that nickel, I went to 13 cents. The year I left, I was working on 14 cents a mile bonus. Like I said, I quit in March. I would have got my bonus in June, and that's water under the bridge. But now, so here we are coming back. Well, when you come back, I guess kind of your welcome back bonus, your little slap on the head, a little penalization, whatever you want to call it, they start you back at a nickel a mile bonus. You don't even start at the dime the new hires are. But Some bonus is still better than no bonus. Most companies don't give you that. That's why it's called a bonus.
Yeah.
But you're a nickel, and you'll go up incrementally from there. And
right. And just so people, if they've never heard of that, so what we do is we give an annual bonus to all our owner-operators, whether it's 5 or 10 cents, but and it's paid on once a year on your anniversary date. You've been here a year, then we cut you a check for 10 cents times all the loaded miles you ran that past year that was paid mileage. And there's no catch to it. There's nothing the only way you can lose it is if you quit or you get terminated. I mean, then you lose it, you get nothing. If you built up 10 months, you get nothing. You have to be here a year to get it, and it's really a great. It's worked great because it gives you something to look forward to every year. It just creates a nice, good sized check that you wasn't expecting sometimes, and it just keeps increasing every year. So, good little deal, little sidebar there. Oakley Trucking is a 100% owner-operator company. We specialize in hopper bottom, end dump, and pneumatic trailers. We provide the trailer free of charge, and you provide the truck. We have a large customer base that reaches the whole United States as well as parts of Canada. Our owner-operators live anywhere from Texas to North Carolina to Pennsylvania to Wisconsin and everywhere in between, and we get them home weekends. We take it seriously when you join Oakley Trucking because we need you to be successful. Oakley offers great benefits and competitive mileage pay, so you know that when your wheels are turning, you're generating money no matter if you're loaded or empty. We understand that you want to make a good living and that you make our living. We only take on independent contractors, and to be honest with you, we are very particular on who we lease on. You must have a good driving record, good work history, and clean, dependable truck. So if you're interested in Oakley Trucking or just want some more information, you can go to oakleytrucking.com, listen to our weekly podcast, The Oakley Podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. What about your wife? What'd she think about you quitting and coming back?
Like most wives, she was on the fence. Like I told you, I had something else in the works. She was kind of hoping that would pan out. And one thing about recruiting here, you're reaching out, you're trying to get a job, you're trying to get information on a job, you've got communication. Bing, bang, boom, bing, bang, boom, you got communication. The outfit I was reaching out to, I've sent emails, I've made phone calls, and nothing. I've got nothing. I had an initial contact, got some one follow-up email. I've tried to reach out for further information probably 7-8 times, and I've got no response at all whatsoever. Well, I'm like the rest of y'all. You buy a truck, you got a truck sitting in the yard or fixing to come in or hit the ground. Well, when that truck hits the ground, you need somewhere to put it to go to work. I still haven't heard nothing from that company, so now we got a truck, we got a job, and we're going to go pull the first load tonight or in the morning. So it's time to go to work.
Time to go to work.
Time to go to work. She was kind of hoping that would transpire because it was a little bit slower pace, a little bit different work. But the other side of that, she understands why I came back because, one, I am going to work right now, and the money is considerably better, especially in the long run. So here we are making a payment. She knows what she's getting into just like I do, and we're going to ride.
Good, good. What would any advice on telling, there's probably people out there right now that was in that same situation you were in back in March of 22 where everything was piling up on them. They just felt life was happening, parents having problems, things happening that you can't control and you can't be there and you're far away type deal. I mean, that, it's a struggle for some people. And, any advice, since you've been through that, and we're all going to go through it again, but you've been through that and can look back and kind of see what happened. Anything you tell somebody that's going through that right now?
All I could say is, instead of doing a drastic change like I did, get aggravated and quit, just step back. If you take 2 weeks off, take 3 weeks off, whatever it takes to get through it, just step back and breathe and relax. And that would have been the right answer in my situation. Just take a month. Whatever you got to do, just back up, breathe, regroup, and get your head right and get your family right, which is the most important thing, and then go back to work from there. But don't make a drastic or a rash decision. We're all grown-ups. We're all truck drivers. Everybody gets aggravated. You get mad, and quitting isn't necessarily the answer. Jeremy made a good point earlier to me before the show. Just communicate. Talk to someone, whether it's the right one or the wrong one or someone, talk. And just getting aggravated and blowing up off the handle, just pulling the plug on the whole thing isn't necessarily the right answer.
You know, I think there's a lot of things, and we talk about this in the office, Cody, but there's a lot of things Oakley can do different too. You know, we can be a little more sensitive to these situations, and you know, if we're talking to you every day, sometimes we know things are going on, and sometimes we don't, unless you tell us. But we sure gotta. I think we got to create things here at the company to help us recognize that kind of stuff a little better, because I think you hit the nail on the head, which is what I was going to say. The way to handle that is take some time off. Just, hey, you know, I need to take a month off. You know, you want your trailer here, I'm going to go home for a little while. I got to get, you know, my dad's not doing good. I got to get my stuff squared away and get your head in the game, because I think that's a big deal when, and not even looking at it, you know, you look at it from the safety aspect. Wow. You know,
driving down your head all screwed up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother, you know, deal. So I think you did that right. But I think trucking companies can do a better job of handling situations too, and recognizing them, and you know, maybe us being the first one to go, Cody, you need to go home. Go take you some time off.
Maybe.
You know, I don't know.
You know,
or just listen to you, or, you know, we really try. When we recognize a problem here at Oakley, we've always said for years, hey, get them in here and let's sit down with them and talk about the situation and see if we can be any help, you know, at all. Because, you know, looking back on that now, I regret not being able to do that. I know we talked a little bit.
We did, yes.
You know, before you quit, but you know, I should have recognized a little bit more of that was going on and done something else, you know, to prevent happening. But you know, hey, it's life. It happened. You left. You came back. Here we are. We're back on new track. And
that's right. We're gonna have fun all over again.
We're gonna have fun all over again, man. We love having fun here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got to talk to them pneumatic boys back there yet? Much this week?
I don't even like them.
No. They've probably been avoiding you, haven't they?
Right. Well, my dispatchers come up and threatened me if I talked to the other dispatchers that he was going to disown me, because, you know, they said something about they wanted me, and I told them I wasn't going to work for either one of them. I was going to work for the third one, and
they did.
Oh, that started a whole marital conflict back there.
How about this group you just went through orientation with? I know you had to go back through orientation the second time, but it'd been a while since you been through. What about this group that's coming in?
I think we got a good group. We've got one additional pneumatic guy, 3 on hopper and 3 on dumps. We had a good mix.
Yeah.
Couple of guys are younger. Well, I'm getting to that age where it seems like everybody's younger, but a couple of them are younger. But I think you're gonna have a good group.
Yeah, they seem like really good people.
They did.
Good truck.
Young, attentive, eager.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
You were leading the charge this week, wasn't you?
No.
Following you, wasn't
Randolph told me not to step on his toes, let him do his thing. So I tried to behave while I was in there all week, and you know, let him lead the charge.
Right.
He handled it.
He does a good job.
He does, yes, sir.
Anything else you'd like to add? I think we covered everything, didn't we?
I think we did, yes, sir. I think we're just ready to get going, and like I said, I just can't stress enough. Like you said, if you have issues, wherever division you're driving in or whatever you drive at, if you're having issues mentally or your home life ain't right, get right and rethink things. Don't make a rash decision, and go from there.
With anything.
Yeah, with anything. Exactly.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate everybody listening to the Oakley Podcast. You know, you guys have been great to us. We're gaining subscribers on YouTube, and we're gaining listeners out there, and y'all help a bunch. Be sure to tell a friend about it. You know, subscribe to it if you haven't, and share it to anybody. And I know you are, because we're getting that information. We're getting phone calls, you know, now where they say, hey, I heard about your podcast, started watching it, and I got some questions about Oakley trucking. Because that's the way we want to reach out to not only all of our owner-operators that are here, because that's the purpose of this episode, is to, you know, I try to stay focused on Oakley owner-operators, because we want them to be successful. I mean, you guys are our life out there and make our living, and we want to give you every tool we can to be successful. So, but also share it with everybody. You know, we want to touch every truck driver out there. So, Thanks again for listening to the Oakley Podcast. We'll talk to you next week.